Very good morning to all of you, my friends. I hope you guys are doing good. Very good morning, everyone. Dhyanesh, wish you the same, my dear. So I hope you guys have solved all the questions of study material and past practice manual of standard costing. So now, let's start with a new chapter. Again, a very important chapter from examination point of view. That is marginal costing. Just like standard costing, this chapter is also very important. In every attempt, you will see questions on marginal costing. When talking about the weightage of the chapter, the weightage is approx 8 to 12 marks. So compulsory, you will get a question. You will see a question of marginal costing in the paper. So now let's start, guys. Now this chapter marginal costing, again, it has nothing to do with calculation of cost. Calculation of cost part जो है हमने कब का खत्म कर दिया. That is in job costing, we used to calculate the cost of a job. In batch costing, we used to calculate the cost of a batch. In contract costing, we used to calculate the cost of the contract. Further, in process costing, wherein a raw material has to pass through various processes before being converted into final product, we use process costing. To calculate the cost of service, we used service costing. So these are the various methods of costing what we discussed previously. Now this marginal costing again has nothing to do with calculation of cost. Cost calculation से marginal costing का कुछ भी लेना देना नहीं है. This chapter again, it's a part of management accounting. It's an important tool of management. It assists management in decision making. So thank you so much, Sushil. Can you please be clear, Roshan? What you were saying, I had to do most of the problem. I have what, Roshan? I hope you have solved all the questions of study material and past practice manual. So let's start, guys, with marginal costing. 1 second, guys. Dhyanesh. Dhyanesh, both the approaches are correct. When talking about the idle time variance, we used to calculate idle time variance in the third stage, that is cost, rate, time, idle time, mix and yield. So अगर आप चाहें तो idle time second stage पे भी लेके आ सकते हैं. While calculating efficiency variance, you can consider idle time. Both the approaches are correct. So no need to worry if the answer is different from study material. Don't worry, both the approaches are correct and acceptable from examination point of view. So let's start, guys, with marginal costing. So marginal costing, what is marginal costing again? It's a part of management accounting. and it assists management in decision making. Again, when talking about the weightage is 8 to 12 marks. In extreme cases, the weightage, the number of weightage can, the amount of weightage can go about 12 marks. But in general, examiner do ask questions on marginal costing from 8 to 12 marks. Not required if you write any, you can write a footnote also, Roshan, that alternate solution is possible. That's it. But you can use both the approaches. Few authors have suggested idle time variance at the third level, and few authors have suggested idle time at the second level. So both the approaches are correct. Don't worry. Jyoti and Vaishnavi, don't worry. I'll try to keep a query session for all of you for all the chapters what I have discussed. So don't worry. Please try to solve all the questions of study material and past practice manual and past examination. Hopefully a query session will be allocated. So I assure you, don't worry, guys. Now, before starting with marginal costing, let me discuss few points, what all will be covering in the marginal costing. Apart from this, I want to discuss few concepts which will be used all throughout the chapter. So let's start with marginal costing. We'll be discussing few points before starting with the full-fledged chapter. The first point is marginal cost. The first point is marginal cost. What is marginal cost? The marginal cost is the cost of producing one additional unit. अगर हम लोग एक additional unit बनाते हैं तो उसका कितना खर्चा आता है, that is marginal cost. What is marginal cost? The cost of producing additional unit. Let's say I have manufactured 100 units and the cost is 1,000. I have manufactured 100 units. Very good morning, Vinayaka. So I have manufactured 100 units and the cost is 1,000. Let's say if I manufacture 101 unit, the cost will be 1,010. So that extra cost, rupees 10, is what? The cost of producing one additional unit. That is marginal cost. Further, let's take one more example. Let's say I do manufacture 100 units and the cost is 1,000. Now, if I manufacture 100 first unit, if the cost is 1,050, then in that case also, rupees 50 is what? My marginal cost. That is the cost of producing one additional unit. So what is marginal cost? The cost of producing additional unit. I hope this part is clear to all. So marginal cost, what is marginal cost? The cost of producing one additional unit. अगर एक additional unit extra बनाते हैं, तो कितना खर्च आता है? That is marginal cost. Now let's move towards the next part. The second point is variable cost. Now, what is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. What is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. What is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. ये वो कॉस्ट है जो प्रोडक्शन के हिसाब से बदलती रहती है. If there is more production, more will be the variable cost. If it is less production, less will be the variable cost. And if there is no production, no variable cost. Let's say I have manufactured 10 units and the cost is 100. So cost of 20 units will be how much? 200. So here the cost is changing as per production. 10 units पे 100 rupees खर्च होता है तो 20 units पे 200 होगा. 500 units it will be 5,000. 1 lakh unit it will be 10 lakh. If it is 1,000 units it will be 10,000. And if it is zero, if there is no units, if no units are manufactured, the cost will be zero. So what is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. ये वो cost है जो production के proportion में increase होता है और decrease होता है. The cost that varies according to production. Let's say when talking about the example of variable cost, let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. Now, if I want to manufacture more quantity of pen, the more the raw material will be required. If I want to manufacture lesser quantity of pens, less the raw material will be required. And if I don't want to manufacture pen, no raw material will be required. Let's say another example, I'm the manufacturer of shirt. Now each shirt requires 2 meters of fabric. So fabric is what? My raw material. Each shirt requires 2 meters of fabric. So fabric is what? My raw material of the final product, that is shirt. If I want to manufacture 1,000 shirts, then 2,000 meters will be required. If I want to manufacture 10,000 shirts, 20,000 meters will be required. If I want to manufacture 5,000 shirts, 10,000 meters will be required. If I want to manufacture 100 shirts, 200 meters will be required. And if I don't want to manufacture any shirts, no raw material will be required. So when talking about the examples of variable cost, raw material is the best example of variable cost. Another example can be labor cost and all the other variable overheads. So when talking about variable cost, the cost that varies according to production. This is the example. If you guys have any doubts in variable cost, you guys can please post your queries, waiting for your queries. Further, I request you to copy this part, please. Manish sir, the screen is visible, sir. एकदम क्लियर है ना, कोई प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है ना? ओके फाइन. Yes, Sunil Kumar. Now let's proceed further. I have taken a class on overheads also. Pramod Kumar, you can check the recorded lecture. Now, next one more point I want to discuss is fixed cost. Now, what is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production. What is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production. What is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production. आप कितना भी production कीजिए, the cost will always remain fixed. Let's say I have manufactured 10 units and the fixed cost is 1 lakh. Now for 5,000 units also the fixed cost will be 1 lakh. And for 1 lakh units also the fixed cost will be 1 lakh. And further, if we are not manufacturing any units also, this cost will remain unchanged. That is very important. Even though if we are not manufacturing any units, then too also the fixed cost will remain same. When talking about the examples of fixed cost, we can say rent. Further, we can say depreciation, insurance premium, these all are the examples of fixed cost. Let's say I have taken a premise on rent to manufacture shirts. Now, if and let's say my monthly rent is 1 lakh rupees. Now, if I manufacture one shirt also, I have to pay 1 lakh rupees. If I manufacture 1 lakh shirts also, I have to pay a rent of 1 lakh rupees. I hope this part is clear to all. So what is fixed cost? The cost that remain fixed irrespective of production. Maximum companies के लिए headache क्या है? Fixed cost है. To recover their fixed cost, because variable cost will be incurred only when we are manufacturing any units. But when talking about fixed cost, the most of the companies has to shut down their business. The major reason is why? Because they are not being able to recover their fixed cost. Let's say in COVID lockdown, सब लोगों ने अपनी shops बंद रखी, but again they have to pay the rent to the landlord. So in that case, so काफी लोगों ने क्या किया, अपना business बंद किया because they are not being able to recover the rent. So many companies, so most of the companies के लिए सबसे बड़ा headache क्या होता है? Fixed cost, to recover the fixed cost. That is the major task for all the companies. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. I do manufacture this pen at a variable cost of 8 rupees per pen. I repeat again, my variable cost is rupees 8 per pen. I do sell this pen for rupees 10. I repeat again, guys, I'm a manufacturer of this marker pen, and the variable cost, that is plastic, ink, the cost of processing, that is the labor cost, the total cost amounts to rupees 8. That is my variable cost. Now, when I sell this pen in the market, I get rupees 10. So every pen I recover rupees 2. That is, after deducting my variable cost, I recover rupees 2. Now let's say my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. Let's say my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. Now what will be my first object? मेरा first object profit नहीं होगा. My first object will be My first object will be what? To recover my fixed cost. So can you guys tell me how much pen I have to sell in the market to recover my fixed cost? I repeat again, my question is, my variable cost for this pen is rupees 8. I sell this pen in market at the rate rupees 10. Every pen I'm recovering rupees 2. From every pen I'm recovering rupees 2. Now my first object will be what? Not to earn profit, but to recover the fixed cost. And let's say my fixed cost is rupees 1 lakh. Can you guys tell me how much pen I should manufacture and sell in the market so that at least I can recover my fixed cost? Can you guys tell me? Waiting for your answers. Very good, Jyoti. Very good, Bitun Sharkar. Very good, Piyush. Any other answers, guys? I repeat the question. This pen I manufacture at a variable cost of rupees 8 per pen. This pen is sold in the market at the rate rupees 10. So on sale of every pen, I'm recovering rupees 2. So this 2, what is my first object to recover my fixed cost? That is 1 lakh. 2 rupees करके मुझे at least 1 lakh recover करना है. So how many pens I have to sell? So I've got answer from Gaurav Gupta. Gaurav Gupta, incorrect answer. Manoj Kumar, incorrect answer. I'm surprised you are not being able to answer. Sushil Kumar Barik, again incorrect answer. Vinodini, incorrect answer. Rest everyone correct. Yes, Piyush, well said. I'm again surprised. Gaurav Gupta, incorrect answer. Yes, Geet. Kushi, correct answer. See, on sale of every pen, I recover rupees 2. Now, my first object will be to recover my fixed cost of rupees 1 lakh. मेरा first object क्या होगा? To recover rupees 1 lakh. For every pen, I am getting rupees 2. So, for recovery of 1 lakh, how many pens I have to sell? Very simple, 50,000 pen. So, on 50,000 pen, on every pen, if we recover rupees 2, we will be able to recover my cost of 1 lakh. So, now, if I am not being able to manufacture and sell 50,000, I have to shut down my business. That is my loss. So every company, हर company के लिए headache क्या होता है कि after recovering the variable cost, they have to sell or they have to manufacture and sell that much of product so that at least they can recover their fixed cost. And once this fixed cost is recovered, they will start earning profit. In simple terms, this 50,000 pen is what we call as break-even point. This is the concept of break-even point. Anyways, I'll be discussing this concept in detail in this session. So what is break-even point? The point wherein after recovering the variable cost, we do recover the fixed cost also. That is what we call as break-even point. So once we are able to manufacture and sell 50,000 pen, we are safe. We are safe that at least we will not incur any sort of loss. So हर company के लिए headache क्या होता है that at least if they are not being able to earn profit, they are able to recover their fixed cost after recovering the variable cost. That is what we call as break-even point. The point where the company is neither suffering any loss and they are not getting any profit. So if my sales goes beyond 50,000, let's say I have sold 50,001 pen, then my profit will be rupees 2. If I have sold 50,010 pens, then my profit will be, for extra 10 pen, what I'm getting, rupees 2, that is 20 will be my profit. So this is the concept. So most of the companies are not being able to recover their fixed cost. That's why they have to shut down the business. So the major headache for the company is what? To recover the fixed cost, because variable cost to तभी incur होगा when we are manufacturing anything. But yes, fixed cost का meter जो है हमेशा चालू रहता है. That's why this fixed cost is very important. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Yes, Rujna, your answers are correct. I'm getting all your answers. The students who has answered incorrect, that is 10,000, 1 lakh. I'm not sure how they are getting this answer. From every pen, we are recovering rupees 2. So from every pen, we are recovering rupees 2 per pen. So we have to recover 1 lakh rupees. एक पेन पे 2 rupees recover हो रहा है, हमें 1 lakh recover करना है, तो 50,000 पेन सेल करने पड़ेंगे. Very simple, guys. So if you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please tell me. We have discussed what the marginal cost. What is marginal cost? The cost of producing one additional unit. When talking about fixed variable cost, what is variable cost? The cost that varies according to production. More the production, more will be the variable cost. Less the production, less will be the variable cost. If there is no production, no variable cost. When talking about fixed cost, the costs that remain fixed irrespective of production. आप कितना भी production करो, this cost will remain unchanged. That is what we call as fixed cost. So most of the companies have to shut down their business. The only reason is what? They are not being able to recover their fixed cost. Herein, if I'm not being able to sell more than 20,000 pen, what I have to do? I have to shut down the business because my break-even point is what? My 50,000 pen. That is at least 50,000 pen. अगर मैंने sell नहीं किया, तो my business will be in loss. और loss में मैं कितने time चला पाऊंगा? So I hope this part is clear to all. This is the contribution per unit, Manoj Kumar Thakur. So again, just like standard costing, there are no formulas in marginal costing also. Again, totally concept based. Everything is all what about concepts. There are no formulas in marginal costing also, similar to standard costing. If you guys have any doubts, queries in this part, you guys can please post your queries. Yes, Lokesh Kumar, I'm getting your message. You have written no profit, no loss situation. Yes, Rujna, I'm getting your comments. Very good. To the students, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, your answer was incorrect. So please check. Vinodini, yes, I know you said 50,000, but I think you have mentioned 10,000 pence, Vinodini, earlier. Don't worry, Shrujna, I assure you, this will be the most easiest chapter for you. I assure you, don't worry, Shrujna. Yes, Sunil Kumar, that 50,000 pence is what my break-even point. Now, let's not discuss break-even point. I'll be covering this part separately. But just for your knowledge, again, to make you guys sure that there are no formulas in marginal costing also, I discussed this part. So now let's proceed further. Yes, Gaurav. So now let's start, guys. This chapter marginal costing is based on 5 terms. That is sales, my variable cost. If we deduct sales, if we deduct variable cost from sales, we'll be getting contribution. Further, if we deduct fixed cost from the contribution, we'll get the final amount, that is profit. So sales, let's say my sales is 200. My variable cost is, let's say, 120. Therefore, my contribution will be how much? 80. Further, let's say my fixed cost is 40. Therefore, my profit will be how much? 40. So this marginal costing is entirely based on all these 5 concepts. That is sales, 5 points. That is sales. Sales minus variable cost is what? Sales minus variable cost is what? Contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is what? Profit. ये 5 चीजों को अगर आप अच्छे से समझ लें तो there is nothing else in marginal costing. You should know how to do plus, minus, divide, multiply. But simple mathematics है, nothing more than that. So these 5 are the major important terms in marginal costing. So we can easily say that what is the formula for contribution? When talking about the formula for contribution, what will be the formula for contribution? That is sales minus variable cost is what we call as contribution. Sales minus variable. Another formula for contribution can be if we add fixed cost and profit, we will get the contribution again. So these 5 elements आप ऊपर नीचे करके कैसे भी marginal costing का question solve कर सकते हैं. So sales minus variable cost is contribution. Contribution minus fixed cost is the final profit. Now, the first question what the examiner do ask is, the first question what the examiner do ask is, yes, Manoj Kumar. So the first question what the examiner do ask on marginal costing is profit volume ratio. That is PV ratio. The first question what the examiner do ask is PV ratio, that is profit volume ratio. Yes, Dhyanesh. So for the first question, what the examiner do ask is profit volume ratio. That is PV ratio. Now, what is PV ratio? Very simple, guys. Contribution divided by sales into 100. My contribution is how much? 80. My sales is how much? 200. Into 100. So that is 40. So the first question what the examiner do ask is PV ratio, that is contribution divided by sales into 100. In simple terms, इसका मतलब क्या होता है कि भाई मेरा जो ये contribution है, this 80, how much percentage is 80 of 200? That is what my PV ratio. That is, what is the percentage of contribution to sales? The percentage of contribution to sales is PV ratio. What is PV ratio? कि जो contribution आ रहा है हमारा sales का कितना परसेंट है? Contribution जो आ रहा है, it is a term, सृजना. हमारा जो contribution आ रहा है हमारी sales का कितना परसेंट है? That is what we call as PV ratio. Let's say my sales is 100 and my contribution is, let's say my sales is 200 and my contribution is 100. How much percentage contribution is to the sales? 50%. That is contribution, that is 100 is 50% of 200. Let's say my sales is 10,000, my contribution is 1,000. Again, how much percentage is contribution to sales? Very simple, we can say 10%. So what PV ratio shows? PV ratio says that what is the percentage of contribution to sales? What is the percentage? What is the percentage of contribution to sales? That is what we call as PV ratio. Let's say my contribution is 500 and let's say my total sales is 1,000. Again, how much percentage? 500 divided by 1,000 into 100, that is 50%. So what is PV ratio? Very simple. That is contribution हमारी sales का कितना percent है. What is the percentage of contribution to my total sales? If you guys have any doubts in this PV ratio part, you guys can please ask me. What is PV ratio? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. What is PV ratio? Alternatively, we can say it shows the relation between contribution and sales. That is contribution और sales के बीच में क्या relation है? That is what PV ratio tells us. That is contribution हमारी sales का कितना % है? This you will understand while solving many questions. Just don't worry. So it shows the relation that contribution हमारी sales का कितना % है. So if my contribution is 1,000, my sales is 10,000, we can say it is 10% of sales. Now let me give you a few questions. You guys have to answer one by one. My first question. Let's say my contribution is 25,000 and my sales is 50,000. Can you guys tell me what will be my PV ratio? Quick, waiting for your answer. Very simple calculation. Okay, I've got answer from Roshan, Jash, Akrama Ansari, Piyush, Dhyanesh, Srujna, Lokesh Kumar, Jyoti Jha. Everyone answer is correct. Yes, Kavita, waiting for your answer. Miss Prachi Kapoor, waiting for your answers. So, contribution हमारी sales का कितना % है? Very simple. That is 25,000 is my contribution divided by 50,000 is my sales into 100. So that is 50%. Very good, everyone. Everyone, your answer is correct. Now, next question. Let's say my sales is 1 lakh. And let's say my PV ratio is 25%. Can you guys tell me how much will be my contribution? My sales is 1 lakh. My PV ratio is my sales is 1 lakh and my PV ratio is 25%. Can you guys tell me how much will be my contribution? Okay, I've got answer from everyone and everybody's answer is correct. That is 25,000. Again, very simple. What is PV ratio? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. So what is PV ratio? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. It means my contribution is 25% of my total sales. So contribution is how much? 25% of my total sales. That is 25,000 rupees. Now, one more question. Let's say my contribution is 90,000. My contribution is 90,000. And let's say My PV ratio is 25%. Can you guys tell me how much will be my sales? The next question, wherein my contribution is 90,000, my PV ratio is 25%. So can you guys tell me how much will be my sales? No, Pramod Kumar. Okay, I've got an answer only from Aslam till now, and your answer is correct, Mr. Aslam. Okay, Manoj Kumar, everybody's answer is correct. Gaurav Gupta, incorrect answer, my dear. Gaurav Gupta, please check your answer. Rest all. Manoj Kumar, Dhyanesh, Jash Shah, Jyoti Jha, Geet Chauhan, Kavita. Your answers are correct. Prachi Kapoor, Manisha, Lokesh Kumar, Pranav, Alok, Nikita. Gaurav, please recheck your answer, my dear. Herein my contribution is 90,000. That is 25% of total sales. What is contribution? 25% of the total sales. So this 90,000 is what? 25% of my total sales. So how much will be 100%? Very simple. That will be my sales. That is 3,60,000. Now, next question for you guys. Let's say my variable cost is 1,20,000 and my PV ratio is 25%. Can you guys tell me how much will be my sales? My variable cost is 1,20,000. My PV ratio, yes, Pramod Kumar, your answer is correct, my dear. Okay, so my variable cost is 1,20,000 and my PV ratio is 25%. So how much will be my sales? Waiting for your answers, guys. Very good, Sushil. Okay, now I have got answer from Piyush, Kavita. Your answers are correct. Okay, Gaurav Gupta, incorrect answer. Alok Shivlani, incorrect answer. Dhyanesh, correct answer. Nagraj, Mr. Nagraj, incorrect answer. Mr. Gupta, Gaurav Gupta, please check your answers are incorrect, my dear. Nagraj, also your answer is incorrect. Alok Shivlani, your answer is incorrect. Pramod Kumar, incorrect answer. Roshan Thomas, incorrect answer. Shivani, correct answer. My variable cost is 1 lakh and the relationship between contribution and sales is 25%. So can you guys tell me how much will be my sales? Very good. Okay, Srujana, incorrect answer. Alok, now it is correct. Shri Lakshmi J, incorrect answer. Roshan Thomas, now your answer is correct. Alok, also your answer is correct. Mr. Gaurav Gupta, waiting for your correct answer, my dear. Try. I understand you are finding some difficulty in the calculation part, but please keep on trying. Don't get demotivated or demoralized. I assure you, by the end of the session, you will be able to solve the questions. Try solving questions again and again. If you're not getting the correct answer, keep on trying. Okay, Shri Sai Srujana, incorrect answer. Sushil Kumar Barik, question third. Okay, I'm waiting for question fourth answer. Pranav Ashish, Just Shah, now your answer is correct. Shreya Shah, incorrect answer. Srujana, again incorrect answer. Miss Pragvi, don't worry, keep on trying. Follow the approach. What is PV ratio? कि contribution और sales का relationship क्या है? So herein, when talking about this question, see, here in this question, my sales is 200, variable cost is 120, and contribution is 80. It means in this question, my contribution is 40% of sales. ये जो 80 है, ये मेरी 200 sales का 40% है. तो balance 60% क्या है? मेरा variable cost. So we can simply say sales can be divided in two parts. That is variable cost and contribution. Now here in PV ratio says what? That contribution sales का कितना percent है? So herein we can say my contribution is 25% of total sales. How much is contribution? Contribution is 25% of total sales. So variable cost will be how much? It will be 75% of the total sales. Vinodini, I'm not getting your answer, my dear. I have not received any answer from your end. Okay, I've got your answer, 3,60,000. That answer was correct, Vinodini. But of this question, I have not received any answer. Okay, I've got your answer, Vinodini. It is correct now. Yes, Jyoti, your answer is correct, my dear. I'm really sorry, Vinodini, that I couldn't mention your name. Yes, Vinodini, you are getting correct answer. Jyoti Jha, correct answer. Pramod Kumar. Sunil Kumar, correct answer. So now, here in the sales can be divided in two parts. That is, the PV ratio shows what? The percentage of contribution to sales. So balance amount will be what? My variable cost. Now in this question, is contribution given? No, contribution is not given. Variable cost is given. So variable cost 1,20,000 is how much? 75% of total sales. Because contribution is 25% of total sales, so variable cost will be 75% of total sales. And my sales is always 100. So my sales will be how much? 1,60,000. I repeat again, what is PV ratio? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. So if my PV ratio is 25%, it means what? My variable cost will be 75%. If my PV ratio is 40%, my variable cost will be 60%. If my PV ratio is let's say 30%, my variable cost will be 70%. So here मैंने contribution नहीं दिया है, मैंने variable cost दिया है. So that was the twist. Okay, Srujana. Yes, Vinodini. If you are incorrect, I'll specifically mention your name. I do remember your name because you are attending my lectures from day one. So don't worry. If you are incorrect, I'll point out that yes, Vinodini, your answer is incorrect. So don't worry. Sometimes I do skip your name. Okay. So Srujana, let me explain you this concept again. Very simple, Srujana. Herein, the relationship between contribution and sales is what we call as PV ratio. So the sales herein is divided in two parts. My total sales is 200 and my variable cost is how much? 120 and my contribution is 80. So the relationship between contribution and sales, we call it as PV ratio. Herein my PV ratio is how much? 40%. What is 40%? That is the percentage of contribution to sales. Now, if the contribution is 40% of sales, my variable cost will be how much? 60% of sales. So herein, my contribution is 25% of sales. So my variable cost will be how much? 75% of sales. So herein, my variable cost is given. I have not given any contribution. My variable cost is given, that is 1,20,000. Now this 1,20,000 is equals to how much? Not equal to 25%, but it is equals to 75%. So that's why I've got 1,60,000. Hopefully your query is resolved. Yes, Kushi, your answers are, I'm getting your answers and your answers are correct. 5 lakh, I think your answer is incorrect, Kushi. Please recalculate your answer. Kushi, your answer was incorrect. 5 lakh rupees. I'm not sure how come you got that answer. Kushi, I hope you have understood what I want to explain you. Very simple. The sales is divided in two parts. The first part is variable cost and the second part is contribution. The relationship between contribution and sales, we call it as PV ratio. So if the PV ratio is 40%, it means what? My variable cost is 60% of the total sales. Prachi Kapoor, I'm getting your answer. 1,60,000 sales. Ragvi, hopefully now you are thorough with what I want to explain you. Okay, guys, one more question. Question number 5. Let's say my contribution is 1,80,000 and my variable cost is 75%. Can you guys tell me how much will be my variable cost? Again, a simple mathematics. Herein my contribution is 1,80,000. My variable cost is 75% of the total sales. So can you guys tell me how much is my variable cost? Waiting for your answers now. Okay, I've got answer from Piyush Chaurasia. Your answer is correct. Roshan, please check your answer. Your answer is incorrect. Jaldi mein solve mat kijiye, Roshan. Don't rush for the solution. Read the question carefully. Okay, I've got answer from Lokesh, Geet Chauhan, Mr. Aslam, Pragvi. Very good. Now you're improving. Alok Shivlani, correct answer. Kavita, correct answer. Pramod Kumar, incorrect answer. Please check. Roshan Thomas, now it is correct. Pragvi, very good. Just Shah, correct answer. Prachi Kapoor, very good answer. Vinodini, waiting for your answer, my dear. Dhyanesh, correct answer. Miss Ansari, correct answer. Manoj Kumar Thakur, don't rush for the solution. Read the question carefully. Pramod Kumar, incorrect answer, my dear. Please check. Sunil Kumar, correct answer. Very good. Shreya Shah, your answer is correct. Shivani, Sraboni, very good morning. Your answers. I'm getting your answers. All your answers are correct. Very good. Jyoti Jha, correct answer. Mr. Prarthna Sarthi, how come you got this magical figure? Your answer is incorrect, Mr. Okay, Bitunj Sarkar, your answer is correct. Pramod Kumar, again incorrect answer, my dear. Jyoti Jha, correct answer. Pranav, very good, your answer is correct. Khushi, waiting for your answer, my dear. Khushi, I have not received any answers from your end. Miss Shri Lakshmi, your answer is incorrect. Manoj Kumar Thakur, your answer is correct. Pramod Kumar, please check, my dear, your answers are incorrect. Shri Lakshmi also, your answer is incorrect. Vinayaka, correct answer. Vinodini, now correct answer. Shri Lakshmi M. Very good. Mitesh Patel, your answer is correct. Now see, when talking about the solution of this question, my contribution is 1,80,000 and my variable cost is 75% of total sales. So how much will be my PV ratio? 25% of the total sales. My PV ratio will be how much? 25%. So now we can easily calculate the sales. I'm writing the solution here. So what will be my sales? Very simple. My contribution is 1,80,000 and it is 25% of total sales. So my sales will be how much? 1,80,000 divided by 25%. So this will be 7,20,000 will be my sales. So my variable cost is 75% of sales. So 7,20,000 into 75%, that is 5,40,000 is my variable cost. Varsha, incorrect answer, my dear. Please check. My total sales will be how much? My total sales will be 1,80,000 divided by 25%. My PV ratio is 25%. So my total sales will be how much? 7,20,000 and 75% is the variable cost. So this is how we will get the variable cost. I hope this part is clear to all, how to calculate sales, variable cost and contribution. So this is the first part of the chapter. If you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please tell me. Waiting for your queries, giving you 2 minutes time to copy everything because this will be very helpful for you while revising the exams. So first copy this concept. What is PV ratio? That is, it shows the relationship between contribution and sales. That is, what is the percentage of contribution to sales? That is PV ratio. Thereafter, start solving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all these 5 questions. Please do copy. It will be very helpful for you while revising for the exams. So giving you 2 minutes time to copy. Gaurav Gupta, now your answer is correct. Very good, Gaurav. Very good, Gomti. So please copy all these steps one by one, giving you 2 minutes time. Shri Lakshmi, I think there is one more Shri Lakshmi. There is one more Shri Lakshmi J. Her answer was, I think, incorrect. Yes, it was Shri Lakshmi J's whose answer was incorrect. See, herein my contribution is 25% only, Vedant. Can you please elaborate? As per the guidelines issued by ICAI, Alok. Thank you so much, Mr. Aslam. Sri Lakshmi M, your answers are correct. Sri Lakshmi J, you are not being able to answer. Vedant Vora, can you be please clear what exactly you want to ask? Further, I request you guys to please copy. Gaurav Gupta, hopefully now you are getting the solution. I hope you are thorough with the concepts. Further, one more girl. I don't remember the name. I think it is Pragvi. I hope you are able to solve all the questions, Pragvi. Earlier you were finding it difficult. Further, Pramod Kumar. I hope your concepts are, you are thorough with the concepts. So herein, if my contribution is 1,80,000, we can, yes, that is what I have done, my dear. Yeah, both the approaches are correct. Vedant, you can solve it in any of the ways. At the end of the day, your answer should be good. Answer should be correct. Shri Sai Srujana sir, please explain question number 5 again, the concept, sir. So I'm erasing this part. So herein in question number 5, Srujana, my contribution, see, the sales can be divided in two parts, that is contribution and variable cost. Herein it is given that my variable cost is 75% of sales and my contribution will be how much? 25% of the sales. So अब देखिए आपको क्या दिया हुआ है, what exactly is given in the question, contribution or sales? Contribution. So contribution is given, that is 1,80,000. So 1,80,000 is equals to 25. So how much will be 75? We can directly calculate the variable cost. Mr. Gaurav, hopefully you are thorough with the concepts. Still, if you have any doubts, I can give one or two more questions for you. Srujana, herein, variable cost is 75%. So contribution will be how much? 25%. If we want to calculate the variable cost directly, we can calculate the variable cost like that. If we want to calculate the sales also, it is 1,80,000 is 25. So how much is my sales? 100. So we can calculate the sales directly also. Yes, Rujna, no worries, my dear. So let's proceed further, guys. Gaurav Gupta, hopefully all your queries are resolved. So now, let's take one more question. Let's say my sales is of 500 units and my per unit selling price is rupees 10. So my total sales will be how much? 5,000 rupees. Further, let's say my variable cost for 500 is 7. So my variable cost will be how much? 3,500. So my contribution will be how much? 1,500. Now, we can easily calculate the PV ratio as contribution divided by sales into 100. Contribution divided by sales into 100. That is the relationship between the contributions and sales is how much? 1,500 divided by 5,000 into 100. That is 30%. It means my contribution is 30% of sales. It means my contribution is 30% of sales. Now, guys, I have a question for you. What if in case if I manufacture 700 units and if I sell 700 units? My question is, if I manufacture and sell 700 units, is my PV ratio going to change or not? Waiting for your answers, guys. क्या मेरा PV ratio change होगा? Is my PV ratio going to change if I manufacture and sell 700 units instead of 500 units? Waiting for your answers, guys. My question, if I manufacture and sell, please don't stop doing any calculation. Just a random question. I want a quick answer. No need to calculate. Okay, I've got answer from Aslam, Jyoti, Piyush, Geet, Roshan, Ms. Ansari, Sunil Kumar. Yes, waiting for everyone to answer. Instead of 500 units, if I manufacture and sell 700 units, my point is the PV ratio going to change or not? Waiting for your answers. Okay, Pramod Kumar, yes sir. Vedant Bora, yes sir. Gaurav Gupta, yes sir. Varshav, yes sir. Pragvi, yes sir. Pramod Kumar, yes. Okay, rest all everybody's answer is correct. जिन लोगों ने yes sir बोला है, their answer is incorrect. So now, let's discuss this. Let's say if I manufacture and sell 700 units. Kavita also yes sir. Manoj Kumar Thakur also yes sir. Nikita also. Mitesh also. Kushi also sir. It will increase. So let me explain this. So if I manufacture and sell 700 units. So 700 into 10, this will be 7,000. 700 into 7, this will be 4,900. So 7,000 minus 4,900, this will be 2,100. So again, the same way, 2,100 divided by 7,000 into 100, 30%. So herein, also the PV ratio is constant. Let's say if I manufacture and sell 1 unit also, so 1 into 10, this will be 10. 1 into 7, this will be 7. My contribution will be 3. So 3 divided by 10 into 100, that is 30. So my point is, guys, if there is any change in sales quantity, if the sales are increasing, if the sales are decreasing, PV ratio will remain constant at all the level of sales. But guys, let's say if there is any change in selling price per unit. So herein my contribution will be how much per unit? 3. Now let's say if there is any change in selling price per unit, so instead of 10, let's say my selling price is rupees 9. Let's say instead of my 10 selling price, if my selling price is 9, will the PV ratio is going to change? Yes, it will go, it will change. That is, sales is 9, variable cost is 7. So my contribution will be how much? 2. That is 9 minus 7, 2. So 2 divided by 9 into 100, my PV ratio will change. This will be 22.2. So what we can see is if there is any change in selling price per unit, or we can say if there is any change in variable cost per unit, then PV ratio will change. Yes. So very important, this relationship is the most important part. That is the selling price per unit and the variable cost per unit. If there is any disturbance in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, yes, the PV ratio will change. So very important point, the conclusive statement, PV ratio remain constant at all the level of sales. If the units are increasing, PV ratio will remain unchanged. If the units are reducing, PV ratio will remain unchanged. But yes, if there is any change in selling price per unit or वेरिएबल कॉस्ट पर यूनिट, अगर सेलिंग प्राइस पर यूनिट और वेरिएबल कॉस्ट पर यूनिट में कोई भी चेंज आता है, yes, the PV ratio will change. So the major point is this relationship should be maintained. So the better way we can say is the formula of PV ratio can be what? Contribution per unit divided by selling price per unit into 100. So this relationship is the key. So my point, again I repeat, so my point is very important. If the sales are increasing, that is, if the units are increasing, PV ratio will remain unchanged. If the units are decreasing, PV ratio will remain unchanged. So if the sales are increasing, decreasing, PV ratio will remain unchanged. But yes, if there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, then yes, the PV ratio will change. If you guys have any doubts, I'm writing my explanation also for better understanding. One second, guys. So guys, PV ratio remains same. PV ratio they remain constant at all the level of sales. If there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, yes, the PV ratio will change. Now, what if the question is silent? Agar question silent hai, so no need to do any sort of exercise. Just assume that my selling price is constant or my variable cost is constant. I repeat again, guys, if the question is silent, if the sales is increasing, and if the question is silent, always assume that units are increasing. If the sales is decreasing, assume that the units are decreasing. The selling price per unit and variable cost per unit is constant. So therefore, PV ratio is also constant. So very important, guys, repeating again and again, that is, if the question is silent, assume that there is no change in selling price per unit and variable cost per unit. Therefore, my PV ratio is constant if the question is silent. If you guys have any doubts, queries in this part, you guys can please tell me. This is all what about PV ratio. That is the first part of the chapter. Let me check if there are any queries. So Mr. Badrinath, good morning, sir. Thank you so much, Badrinath, and wish you good luck, my dear. Thank you so much once again. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. This explanation is nowhere given in the study material. They've assumed that you know all these things, so better write down each and every point in detail. This will be helpful for you while revising and while solving the practical question, giving you 2 minutes time to please copy these concepts. Manish, sir, I hope the letters are visible. Okay, fine, sir. Surujana, I request you to please refresh your connection. No worries, Manoj Kumar. Try and learn from your mistake. That is not a big thing that your answers were incorrect. I do expect a correct answer from you. Practice hard. Don't rush for the solution. Read the question carefully. You will surely get the answer. Have some patience. Don't get demotivated, my dear. Yes, Pramod Kumar. So guys, let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll be back after 10 minutes with the next part of the chapter. We are done with the PB ratio. So we'll be back in the next part. We'll be back after the break with the next part of the chapter. So let's take a break of 10 minutes. Manish sir, please put a break of 10 minutes. Welcome back, guys. So now before the break, what we discussed is that is what is marginal costing, what is marginal cost. Thereafter, we discussed what is variable cost, what is fixed cost. Thereafter, PV ratio, the important part, the first part of the chapter, that is PV ratio. What is PV ratio? It shows the relationship between contribution and sales. And thereafter, we discussed few points relating to PV ratio, wherein the very important point, PV ratio remain constant at all the level of sales. If there is any change in selling price per unit or variable cost per unit, yes, the PV ratio will change. However, if the question is silent, we will assume that selling price is constant, variable cost is constant, and therefore the PV ratio is also constant. So now let's proceed further with the next part of the chapter. Miss Pragvi, sir, costing is easy while solving, but in exams it's really hard to attend. Pragvi, the major point is, I think you are not studying the concepts. Better stick to the concepts, try to memorize the concept and practice as much as you can. In writing, I assure you, you will be able to solve the examination paper in a very easy way. I mean, in very easily. So let's start. The total contribution is in direct proportion to the total sales. That is a better statement, Vaishnavi Agrawal. More or less the same, Dhyanesh. So let's start, guys, with the next part of the chapter, that is break-even sales. Now, when talking about break-even sales, what is break-even sales? I've already discussed this part while discussing the basic concepts. But yes, for more clarity, what is break-even sales? That level of sales where there is no profit, no loss. Or in simple terms, we can say my total sales is equals to total cost. When my total sales is equals to total cost, Vaishnavi, have some patience. I'll be discussing this part. Don't worry, my dear. Very good, Prarthna Sarthi. So what is break-even sales? It is that level of sales where there is no profit, no loss. Or we can say sales is equals to the total cost. In the example, what I discussed previously, that is 8 rupees is the variable cost of this pen. 10 was the selling price. So every pen we were recovering 2 rupees. Our major object was what? To recover my fixed cost first. So 50,000 pens when sold, we used to achieve break-even point. So 50,000 pens in that example was my break-even point. That is the point where we neither earn nor lose. So that is the point is called as break-even point. Now let's discuss this part further. So break-even sales, that is that level of sales where there is no profit, no loss, or we can say sales is equals to total cost. Let's discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say my total sales is the same example, that is 200. My variable cost is, let's say, 120. Therefore, my contribution will be how much? It will be 80. Further, let's say my fixed cost is 40. So therefore, my profit will be how much? 40. No need to memorize the formula. Geet Chauhan. No, Vinodini. Let me cover this point in detail later on. So, this is the question. When talking about the relationship between contribution and sales, we call it as PV ratio. We call it as PV ratio. And we have already discussed what is PV ratio. That is contribution divided by sales into 100. That is my PV ratio. So in this case also, the relationship of contribution and sales is how much? 80 divided by 200 into 100. That is 40. Now guys, very important part now. So in this question, my sales is 200. My variable cost is 120. My contribution is 80. My fixed cost is 40 and my profit is 40. So on sales of rupees 200, we get a profit of 40. 200 ki sales pe we are getting a profit of rupees 40. Can you guys tell me on what sales we will get a profit of 0? Can you guys tell me what will be the break-even sales? As I told you guys, at break-even sales, my sales is equals to total cost. Break-even sales is that level of sales where the sales is equals to total cost. Can you guys tell me a sales where my sales is equals to total cost? Waiting for your answers, guys. Can you guys tell me a sales wherein my sales is equals to total cost or my profit is 0? Waiting for your answers, guys. At the end of the day, at break-even sales, my total profit is what? 0. Or at the end of the day, we can say my sales is equals to total cost, and that is what my break-even sales. So on 200 sales, I'm making a profit of 40. So at what sales I'll make 0 profit? Can you guys tell me? Waiting for your answers. As expected, I've got answer from Geet Chauhan. Incorrect answer. Sunil Kumar got the answer. Again, incorrect answer. Piyush Chaurasia, Akruma Ansari. Your answers are correct. Yes, can you guys tell me? Okay, I'm getting an answer from 160 from Sunil Kumar, Lokesh Kumar 160, Manisha Ben Panchal 160, Vinodini 160, Kavita Chandak 160. Very good, everyone. Anyone else having any answers? Uday Vishwakarma 160. I'm getting answer from maximum of the student. The answer is 160. That is what I'm getting from most of the students. Jyoti Jha, Shrujna, everyone answers 160. So now, most of the student answer that sir 160 is the correct answer. That is the point where there is no profit, no loss. अब आप लोगों ने कैसे calculate किया होगा? In a very simple way, sir. You told us that calculate the sales where there is no profit, no loss. Most of the students, what they did, sir? Let's calculate the total cost, 120 plus 40. That is 160. So if we make a sales of 160, then my profit and loss will be 0. Most of the students followed this approach. So I repeat again, guys, what most of the students did, sir, we have to calculate the sales where the profit or loss is 0. So why not the total sales should be 120 plus 40? This is my total cost, 160. My total sales should be 160. Then the profit will be 0. Or alternatively, the students must have used this approach, sir. Total sales is 200. If we deduct 40, we'll get 160. So 160 is my cost, 160 is my sales, and the profit and loss will be 0. But guys, let's check whether your answer is correct or not. Let's check whether your answer is correct or not. Now, if we take the sales as 160, I'm writing the explanation as per the answer posted by most of the students. I'm writing the explanation as per the answer posted by most of the students. So let's start, guys. So if my break-even sales, if my sales is 160, herein my sales is reducing. So my variable cost will also reduce, right? I repeat again, if my sales is reducing from 200 to 160, my variable cost will also reduce. And as I've already told earlier that this relationship remain constant. That is, the percentage of contribution to sales or percentage of variable cost to sales always remain constant if the question is silent. So it means contribution will be what? 40% of my sales. Since my sales is reducing, my variable cost will also reduce, my contribution will also reduce. So herein 160 into 40%, that is 64. So my variable cost will also reduce from 120 to 96. Since my number of units are reducing, my variable cost will also reduce. Have I already discussed that variable cost is the cost that changes according to the production. So if my production is reduced, my variable cost will also reduce, my contribution will also be reduced, and my contribution will be how much? 40% of my total sales. So my fixed cost is 40 and my profit will be how much? 22. So is this 160 the correct answer? No, dear. No, guys, this answer is incorrect, because if you are reducing the sales, variable cost will also reduce, right? So this answer is incorrect. Why it is incorrect? See, I just want to rectify your answer first. आपको पता चलना चाहिए कि गलती कहां पे हुई है. If you have done a mistake, then better understand what went wrong. So this, why this answer 160 is incorrect. I hope you guys are thorough with this part now. Now, what is the correct sales? What is the correct break-even sales? So let's start, guys. At break-even sales, how much profit we want? 0. Fixed cost, as I told you, will remain constant at all the level of sales. So 40. As I told you, variable costs keep on changing as per the production, but fixed costs remain constant at all the level of sales. So my fixed cost will be how much? 40. So contribution minus fixed cost should be 0. So how much should be my desired contribution? 40. Now this 40 is what my contribution, and we know very well that the relationship between contribution and sales in this question is how much? 40%. So this 40 is equals to how much? 40%. So how much will be 100? 40 is equals to 40%. So how much will be 100? Very simple. 100. So 100 is my sales where we neither earn any profit or nor suffer any loss. So that is my break-even point. So if you guys have any doubts, what went wrong, why 160 is incorrect, why 100 is correct, you guys can please post your queries. Thereafter, we'll discuss the remaining part of break-even sales. But guys, very important, aapse galti hui hai, you should understand where it was wrong. That is very important in marginal costing. Because sometimes what happens, aapko lagta hai your solution is correct, but yes, your solution is incorrect. So herein, that is the reason why your solution is incorrect. Now, what is the correct solution? This is the correct solution. That is, at break-even sales, my profit will be what? 0. My fixed cost, as I told you, fixed costs remain constant at all the level of sales. So my fixed cost will be how much? 40. So my contribution will be how much? Contribution minus fixed cost should be 0. So my contribution will be how much? 40. Now the relationship between contribution and sales is constant because there is no change in selling price per unit and variable cost per unit. So this 40 is equals to how much? 40%. So how much will be 100%? 100. So waiting for the queries from the students who have posted answer 160. I hope your query is resolved. Waiting for your queries now. Those who want to post any sort of queries, sir, why it was wrong, why it is incorrect, please post your queries. I want you guys to be thorough with the concept rather than memorizing the formula. So please, if you guys have any doubts, queries, you guys can please post. Thumb rule, Lokesh Kumar. Earlier also you have done the same mistake that you are rushing for the solution. Listen what I am saying, apply your brains, and then solve the question. Yes, everyone, any doubts? Jyoti Jha, Prarthna Sarthi, Nikita, Kavita, Bala Vinodini, Manisha, Lokesh Kumar, Dhyanesh, your answer was correct. Sunil Kumar, Uday, Miss Ansa, Sunil Kumar, Geet Chauhan, you answered 160. So I hope you guys are thorough with this part. Yes, Uday. Yes, your answer was correct, Thomas. Vaishnavi Agrawal, yes, your answer was correct. I was pointing out those students whose answer was incorrect. That's why. Geet Chauhan, which means at BAP contribution will be equal to fixed cost. Yes, Geet Chauhan, at break-even point, my contribution will be equal to fixed cost. This is how we will get that. Then only we can get the zero profit, na? Kavita Chandak, sir, please explain it again. So, Kavita, the concept is very simple. At break-even point, my profit will be what? Zero. That is what is break-even sales, where there is no profit or loss. So it means what? It is zero. When talking about the next part, that is fixed cost, we will start with the reverse calculation. So fixed cost remain constant at all the level of sales. So this 40 is what my fixed cost. So it will remain at same at all the level of sales. Whether it is 200, whether it is 160, whether it is 100, whether it is zero also, it will remain constant. So 40 is my fixed cost. So how much will be my contribution? Very simple. Contribution will be 40. This is how 40 minus 40 is 0. So how much will be the contribution? 40. Now this 40 is what my contribution. And the relationship between contribution and sales already defined in PV ratio. And that is how much? 40%. So this 40 is equals to 40%. So how much will be 100%? Rupees 100. So this 40 is equals to 40%. So how much will be 100%? That is 100. So this 40 is equals to 40%. So how much will be 100? That is 100. So what I actually did, this 40 is what? My desired contribution. What is this 40 divided by 40%? What is this 40 divided by 40%? My desired contribution divided by PV ratio. This is what my formula. Now, when talking about this, 40 is my desired contribution, 40 is what my PV ratio. Now, how come I got this 40? That is fixed cost plus my zero profit divided by PV ratio. So the ultimate formula will be how much? What will be the ultimate formula? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So that is the final formula for break even. I repeat again, guys, when talking about the formula that is given in the study material, first of all, we have calculated the break-even sales using the reverse calculation. So herein, this 40 we divided by 40% to get 100. So 40 is what? My desired contribution for break-even sales. So how come I got this 40? How come I got this 40? 40 plus 0 was 40. That is fixed cost plus zero profit was my desired contribution divided by PV ratio. So 0 has no value. So the ultimate formula for break-even sales will be what? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. If you guys have any doubts in this part, how come this formula is derived, that is fixed cost divided by PV ratio, you guys can please post your queries. So when talking about the formula for break-even sales, the straight away formula, fixed cost divided by PV ratio. I request you guys to please copy this part. This part is of no use. So fixed cost plus zero profit divided by PV ratio. So 0 has no value. So the ultimate formula for break-even sales will be what? Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. Yes, Manoj Kumar. Yes, Geet Chauhan, Uday Vishwakarma, Roshan, any doubts? Alok, any doubts? Pranav, waiting for your query. Dhyanesh, any doubts? Raboni. I request you guys to please copy this explanation, where please don't forget to copy this part, because this is the answer which is posted by most of the students. So where you guys were incorrect, you should write it down that yes, this was the mistake I did last time and I will not repeat this mistake next time. So I request you guys to please copy this part in detail. Now let's discuss this concept with the help of one more example. No, Dhyanesh. I'll discuss how to solve the question also. This is the question as far as the relationship between contribution and sales is concerned. We will calculate PV ratio in a simple way, that is contribution divided by sales into 100. So my contribution is how much? 1500 divided by my sales is how much? 5000 into 100, that is 30%. Alternatively, as I told you, we can solve it in another way also, that is 3 by 10 into 100, that is also 30%. Now in this question, can you guys tell me what is the break-even sales? Very good. Alok. Can you guys tell me what is the break-even sales? Uday, Geet, Ms. Ansari, Jyoti Jha, your answer is correct. Roshan Thomas, your answer is correct. Prarthna Sarthi, I think we are still not thorough with the concepts. Your answer is incorrect. Dhyanesh, correct answer. Can you guys tell me what is the break-even sales in rupees? Still waiting for the answers. Yes, Prachi Kapoor, Geet Chauhan. Okay, I've got answer from Piyush, correct. Jyoti, correct. Nikita, correct. Geet Chauhan, incorrect answer, Geet. Very good, Kavita. Your answer is correct. Srujana, correct answer. Sunil Kumar, correct answer. Dhyanesh, correct answer. Yes, Prachi Kapoor, waiting for your answer, my dear. Pranav. Okay, Vaishali Agrawal. Yes, Geet, now your answer is correct. Vaishali, correct answer. Lokesh Kumar, correct answer. Vedant, correct answer. Manoj, Vinodini, Nagraj, everyone correct answer. Yes, Just Shah, are you there in the class? I'm waiting for your answer, my dear. So now I've got answer and everyone were able to answer it in a correct way. That is 0 is my profit. Fixed cost will remain constant at all the level of sales. So 900 will be my fixed cost. So this contribution minus fixed cost should be 0. So this should be 900. 900 is equals to 30%. So how much will be 100%? 3000. So this will be 21. Alternatively, we can easily calculate by applying the formula also. That is break-even sales is equals to fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So my fixed cost is how much? 900. 30% is my PV ratio is equals to 3000. Very good, Jyoti. No worries. Very good, Varsha, Sushil Kumar Barik. Yes, your answer is correct, my dear. So now 3000 is what my break-even sales. Now, how this formula is derived, I hope you guys are clear that this formula, how this formula is derived. So 3000 rupees is what my break-even sales. That is at 3000 rupees, my profit will be what? 0. Now, since we are selling each and every unit at the rate rupees 10, हर यूनिट हम लोग 10 rupees में सेल कर रहे हैं. So how many units? Every unit we are selling it for at the rate rupees 10 and the total sales is 3000. So how many units? 300 units. Shri Sai Srujna, your answer is correct. No worries. I hope you are thorough with the concept. Try to memorize the concept rather than formula, Srujna. So every unit we are selling at the rate rupees 10 and the total sales is 3000. It means 300. If we sell 300 units, then it will be my break-even point. Now, very important, guys. Let's take the same. We can calculate the units in an alternate way also. Let's say I do manufacture this pen. Let's say I do manufacture this pen at the rate rupees 7. That is my variable cost. And the selling price of this pen is rupees 10. So how much recovery I am making after recovering the variable cost? Rupees 3. That is 3 rupees I am getting after recovering the variable cost. Now what will be my first target? To recover my fixed cost. That is 900. I repeat again. I am manufacturing this pen at the rate rupees 7. Variable cost at the rate rupees 7. My selling price is rupees 10. So how much amount I'm getting after recovering the variable cost? Rupees 3. So this is the amount I'm getting after recovering my variable cost. Now 3 rupees, 3 rupees, 3 rupees in aggregate. How much I want to recover first before earning profit? 900 rupees. That is my fixed cost. This will be my first target. My first target will be what? To recover my fixed cost. So to recover the fixed cost, how much pens I have to sell? Very simple. In aggregate, I want to recover 900 rupees. Per pen, I am recovering rupees 3. So in short, I have to sell 300 pens to recover this 900 rupees. So how much I have to recover? 900 rupees. How much per pen I am getting? Rupees 3 per pen. So in short, I have to sell 300 units to recover this 900. So we can say there is one more formula for break-even sales. If we want to calculate it in units, that is how much we want to recover for break-even sales. My fixed cost, how much I'm recovering per pen, rupees 3, that is my contribution per unit. And this is how we will calculate the break-even sales in units. Alok, please check your answer is incorrect. So I repeat again, there are no formulas in marginal costing. Just use the simple approach. That is, I'm manufacturing this pen for 7. I'm selling this pen for 10. So per pen, after recovering the variable cost, I'm getting rupees 3. My first target will be what? To recover the fixed cost. So kitne pen manufacture ya sell kare so that at least I can recover 900 in aggregate, wherein the per pen recovery is rupees 2. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. In short, we have to manufacture and sell 300 units to recover rupees 900. That is my fixed cost. So the amount to be recovered in break-even sales is what? 900. That is my fixed cost. And the per pen recovery after recovering the variable cost is 3. That is my contribution per unit. So the formula will be what? Fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please tell me. Waiting for your queries, guys. Again, don't use the formula. Try to memorize the concept. That is the better approach, because once the decision-making questions will start, you won't be able to apply the formula. Therein only the concepts will play an important role. So better memorize the concepts rather than using formulas. Just think practically, if it is your company, which approach you would have followed to calculate the break-even sales, you will be able to solve any type of questions. So these are the major two formula if you want to calculate break-even sales in rupees, and if you want to calculate break-even sales in rupees. I request you guys to please copy this part. Yes, so there is Shwakarma. If the when talking about the practical part, yes, few fixed costs will remain fixed throughout the year. But yeah, there are few fixed costs. There are few costs which changes after a certain level. We call it as step fixed cost. So I'll just check out the study material. If there are any questions relating to step fixed cost, I'll discuss. But right now, please ignore. Right now, we will assume that fixed costs remain constant at all the level of sales. I'll be discussing this part also, Sraboni. Don't worry, have some patience. Don't rush to the conclusion or don't rush to the last part of the chapter. So waiting for your queries, guys. In the meanwhile, I request you guys to please copy this, copy the explanation, please. No, Miss Ansari, the best approach is fixed cost divided by PV ratio and fixed cost divided by contribution per unit as far as if we want to calculate the break-even sales. So now, yes, Alok, I'm giving 1 or 2 questions so that at least you guys can figure out that whether you guys have learned the concepts or not. Question number first. Let's say my fixed cost is 90,000. My break-even sales is 3 lakh. Can you guys tell me what is the PV ratio? My fixed cost is 90,000. My break-even sales is 3 lakh. So what is the PV ratio, guys? My fixed cost is 90,000. My break-even sales is 3 lakhs. So what is my PV ratio? Okay, I've got answer from Alok, Piyush, Kavita, Akrama, Jyoti, Sunil Kumar, Alok. Alok, your answer is incorrect. Rest everyone, your answer is correct. Yes, Rujna, waiting for your answer. Vinodini, waiting for your answer, my dear. Alok Shivlani, your answer is incorrect. Rest everyone, answer is correct. Yes, Rujna, Prachi Kapoor, Vinodini. Okay, I've got answer from Nikita, Vaishnavi, Lokesh Kumar, Geet Chauhan, Vedant, Pratna Sarthi. Now your answers are correct. Alok Shivlani, correct answer. Shreya Shah, Srujna, your answer is correct. Mr. Pramod Gupta, still you have not posted the answer. Waiting for your answer, Pramod. Prachi Kapoor, madam, where are you? Sraboni, where are you? Waiting for your answer, Sraboni. Okay, Dhyanesh, got your answer. Very good. Manisha, correct answer. Vinodini, correct answer. Manoj Kumar Thakur, correct answer. Yes, your answers are correct. So herein, when talking about the formula, break-even sales is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. So we can easily calculate my break-even sales is 3 lakh is equals to 90,000 divided by my PV ratio. Since PV ratio is in percentage, so we'll multiply it by 100. So PV ratio is equals to 90,000 divided by 3 lakh into 100. That is what is this. One more question for you. Let's say my total sales my variable cost is 1,20,000. My PV ratio is 40% and my break-even sales is 50% of total sales. You have to calculate fixed cost. Sraboni, it was 30%. Sushil Kumar Barik, incorrect answer. Shivani, I have not received any answer from your end. I think there are some network errors. Shivani, I have not received your answer, but yes, I have received your comment that, sir, is my answer reaching out to you? Pranav, please check your answer was incorrect. Sushil Kumar Bari, Sraboni, what happened? This is a very simple question. It's only one Srujana. Sometimes I mention Sri Sai Srujana, and sometimes it's Srujana only. So it's only you are only Srujana here. Shivani, so what about the answer, my dear? So I'm getting many answers. 1,40,000, 80,000. I've got answers as 1,40,000, 80,000. Waiting for your answers, guys. Okay, I've got one more figure that is 60,000. Let's see whose answer is correct. So Srujana or Sri Sai Srujana, the same person, please post your answer. Prachi Kapoor, Sraboni, please post your answers. Waiting for your answers, guys. Mr. Aslam, where are you, my dear? Waiting for your answer. Okay, I've got two more answers, 36,000, 32,000. So many answers of a single question. Okay, one more answer. I've got 2,50,000. Please post your opinion. Okay, Dhyanesh has posted the answer. Let me check, Dhyanesh. Let me check, Alok. Shivani, please post your answer. I've not yet received any answer from your end. I've got answer from Nikita, Alok. Okay, I've got answer from Shivani, Shreya Shah, Jyoti Jha. Yes, Mr. Aslam, where are you, my dear? Waiting for your answers. Pramod Kumar, Srujana, waiting for your answer, my dear. No worries. Pranav, I have not received any answer from your end. Pranav. Okay, Roshan Thomas, I've got your answer, 2,50,000. Yes, Pranav. Mr. Sankaran, you are the first one to join the class, but still I have not received any answers from your end in any of the lectures. Let me check. Okay, so Varsha, sir, 80,000, I think 80,000. Yes, I have mentioned 80,000 also. So I've got answer from Varsha, Sunil Negi, Jyoti Jha. Let me check. I'll be posting the correct answer, guys. Mr. Sankaran, Mr. Jash Shah, Miss Ansari. Okay, just sorry, I've got your answer. Let me check. Okay, I've got answer from Srujana also. Vinodini, 8 lakh rupees. Very good, Vinodini. Let me check whether your answer is correct. I've got one more figure of 8 lakh. Yes, Shivani, I got your answer. So now let's proceed with the solution. A very simple question. I don't know why many of you guys were not able to solve the question. So herein, as I told you, sales can be divided in two parts, that is variable cost and contribution. The percentage of contribution to sales is what? PV ratio, that is 40%. So how much will be my sales? How much will be my variable cost? 60%. So let's calculate the total sales first. The variable cost is 1,20,000. That is equals to 60%. So how much will be 100%? That is 2 lakh rupees. This is my total sales. The break-even sales is 50% of the total sales. Therefore, my break-even sales will be how much? 2 lakh into 50%, that is 1 lakh. If my break-even sales is 1 lakh and my PV ratio is 40%, it means what? My fixed cost will be how much? 40,000. So when talking about fixed cost, 1 lakh into 40%, that is 40,000 is my fixed cost. So 40,000 is the correct answer. Very good, Dhyanesh. Very good, Lokesh Kumar. I don't know. Yes, I have received your yes, 40,000 now. So all the answers were incorrect. So few students posted the correct answer. That is Akrama Ansari posted the correct answer. Sushil Kumar, Pratna Sarthi, Sunil Negi, Lokesh Kumar, Manisha Ben, Panchal, Shivani, Shreya, Alok, Nikita, Dhyanesh, Uday, Shivani. So 40,000 is the correct answer. 40,000. Very good, everyone. So Sunil Kumar was the first one to post the correct answer. That is 40,000. So I hope very good, Kushi. So this is the correct answer. Now I hope you guys understand what is the benefit, what is the use of concepts in marginal costing. No need to memorize the formula. Stick to the concepts. If you start memorizing the formula, trust me, you will never be able to solve the questions. 5 formula पढ़ के आप marginal costing कभी भी solve नहीं कर सकते. Better learn the concept, what we are doing, rather than कि ठीक है formula पढ़ लिया, will be able to solve. No, guys. In marginal costing, you will not be able to solve any questions in exams if you are only sticking to the formulas. Better memorize the concept, practice as much as you can, then only you will be able to solve the questions. So this is all what about break-even sales. We are done with break-even sales. We have discussed 2 parts. First one is PV ratio. Second one is break-even sales. When talking about PV ratio, the formula is contribution divided by PV ratio. When talking about PV ratio, it is, when talking about PV ratio, the formula is contribution divided by sales into 100. When talking about break-even sales, the break-even sales is what? That level of sales where there is no profit or no loss. हम लोग सिर्फ sales से fixed cost ही recover कर पाते हैं. Nothing is contributed towards profit in break-even sales. So break-even sales, that level of sales where there is no profit, no loss, or we can say sales is equals to the total cost. When talking about the formula for break-even sales in rupees, it is fixed cost divided by PV ratio. When talking about in units, it is fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. So this much for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. What happened, Srujna? What went wrong, Srujna? Okay, I'm sorry. I think I should be. I thought there were some visibility issues, but okay, I misunderstood. So now, thank you so much for your time and patience. Thank you so much for actively participating in the session. Few students were not being able to solve the questions, but guys, don't get disappointed. Keep yourself motivated. Trust me, I'm there with you till the last date of your exams. If you have any queries, you guys can please reach out to ICAI. I'll surely address your queries, all your queries. So don't worry, I'm there with you all the time. Stick to the concept, practice as much as possible. I mean, as many as questions as you can. Rest all. Enjoy your weekend, a long weekend. Happy Mahashivratri to all of you. Please take care of yourself and God bless you. See you guys. Thank you so much.